Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches. This is the 7th time she's done this series, and we are using this sketch from Laura Whitaker, and I have turned it into a double pager. So in the sketch it has some detailing up in the upper right hand corner, and then everything else is in the bottom left hand corner. And so that's what I started on my left-hand page, but I used a really big word that says title, or it says game right there. And so that is going to be a representative of the upper right-hand corner on the sketch, and my photos are representative of the lower left-hand corner. And then for the opposite page, I just flipped the whole thing. So that's where I took my inspiration from this particular sketch. And then she has lots of layers and such around her photo. So I also am going to add lots of layers around my photo. And then she also has some little banner flags coming off of her photo, and I'm going to do that as well. So I started out with that cut file, which is a cut file I got in the Creative Cuts Club January 2020, I believe. And so I automatically backed it before I even came on screen, just because backing a cut file takes a little bit of time. And there are a lot of videos out there that show how to do that. So if you're looking for a video on that, just type in backing a cut file and I'm sure something will come up, because a lot of people have done that. Paige Evans has done it herself, Virginia Walker has done it, and so there's plenty of people out there that show you how to do that. So I didn't feel like you needed to see that. And then we had this paper that had all of these Scrabble tile letters on it, and I cut those out and I inked them up. And my subtitle is going to say "At the Cabin," so it's game night at the cabin. And I really like how that ends up looking. I am popping it up onto some fun foam from Walmart, and it's just adhesive backed on one side, and then you add adhesive to the other side. And it's pretty cheap stuff. I like using it. I use it in almost every video. So, if you're looking for that, I get it at Walmart. You can also get it at Michael's. You can get it at Joann's. It's just the cheap kids fun foam in the crafting area. It's not specific to scrapbooking. So that bingo card also came in the Creative Cuts Club kit from the same January 2020 collection. And so, and same with the tile letters there. And then all of the rest of it is coming from my scrap bin. So I am just going to layer up some papers. I pulled out some wood grain, some grays, some pattern packaging actually from, I think it's from Pink Fresh Studio, and it's got like a diagonal stripe on it and some flowers, and that's the packaging right there. I'm just using that as well, and I'm inking everything in black soot distress ink just to provide continuity across everything and to give it a little bit of pop, because I am layering a lot of like light colors on top of each other without a big contrast in between. I am going to add some darker grays to those areas, but at this point in time I'm just using these lighter colors, so I'm just going to ink it up so that you can definitely differentiate between the patterns. So here's where I add in some darker colors. I thought I was going to use the geometric side, but I end up using the floral side. And I like how that's looking, and you can see I'm just using tiny bits from my scrap bin. It doesn't have to be a whole sheet, it doesn't have to be a 6x6 sheet, it can just be a small bit cut in half or in quarters and tuck it in, and that's really all I'm doing. Now where I'm working right there, it's getting very close to the edge, and I am at some point going to pull all of that up and move it a little bit more right so that it doesn't look like it's going off the page. And I don't believe I show that in the video, but that is done. So when you see the close-ups at the end, you will notice that it's not quite so far to the left. All of that is fixed. So I like how this is looking. When you stack up these layers, you want them so they're not perfectly straight, and you don't want them all to end at the same point. You want them to kind of like be staggered in their positioning, and then it looks a lot more natural, and you can definitely see the layers that way. And then I'm just trimming off pieces. It doesn't have to go all the way underneath your photos. Now if you pull so many layers in that your photos look like they're bent when they're sunken into the page, because you have so many layers on the edge but the middle is not supported, you can actually add some fun foam behind your photo. And if you're worried about the acid-free type of deal, which I'm not really worried about, um, my photo is matted on cardstock, so it's matted on white cardstock, and so that's providing a barrier between the two, between the fun foam and the actual photo itself. Now, like I said, I'm not worried about it because all of my photos are also captured digitally, so if I had an issue, I could go back and reprint them. But back in the day, when we didn't have digital photos, that was something that we were much more concerned about. So these days, I don't worry about it. And so here's where I'm pulling in that geometric design that was on the back of that floral, and I am creating those little banners. And I'm not even worried that they're cut like straight or even. They don't have to be perfect. Um, this is one of those layouts where things are not going to be perfect on it, because that is just the idea of the layout. It's not something that, when I do a grid, I like my grid lines to be all straight and perfect, but in this particular case, where things look like they're just tucked and layered, I don't worry about that. Now I am going to ink up all of these banner pieces as well, because I do want them to have dimension and match everything else on the layout. And because that one with the hearts is white and it's going on top of the white packaging that has the floral on it, I want to make sure that that stands out. And then I am using a 2.5-inch scallop punch to punch these little placeholders for my embellishments. And I am going to use some glue, and I do this off screen, but I'm using some glue, liquid glue, just to put between those layers of banners to kind of hold them together. And that's what I'm doing right now. You can't see me doing it. I apologize that it's not on screen, but I'm just kind of tucking a little bit in there. And then I'm just going to let them set for just a few minutes while they, get kind of tacky, and I can move them around. Now, if you are following along this month, there are so many people playing along. I have been doing 30 days of sketches all month long, so you can go back and visit all of those on my channel. Christy is definitely doing it because this is her series, Christy's Beautiful Life, so you can go check her channel out. And then I have links to everybody else down below who's playing along, so that you can go and get some inspiration from all of the other wonderful scrapbookers. And there is a Facebook group that you can go and join if you would like, that has all of the sketches from all of the past 6 series and this one, and you can play along and post your layouts there if you would like, or you can simply just go over there and get tons of inspiration to see how everybody has used these sketches to meet their own needs. So I'm just playing around here with where I want this last little embellishment cluster, and I am going to put it over the bottom of the photo. It's just covering the side of my arm, which is not a big deal. It's not covering anything valuable in the photo. And then I had these playing card embellishments, and I don't know if these are Jolie's or some other brand. I've had them for ages, and I'm so glad to get them out of my stash, but I'm going to go ahead and layer those up. And in the photos, we are all just playing either card games, apples to apples, outbursts. There's several games that we have been playing in the photos. So I just am using all kinds of things that relate to games. And even that paper that is backing the title Game Night, it has like little hearts and clubs and spades on it, so that even adds to it. Now, that paper that I punched the scallop out of had these cameras on it, so I fussy cut some of those cameras, and then I just inked them up with a little bit of the peach, and I added a little bit of that olive green that was on the Polaroid looking camera. I added it to the opposite camera so that it definitely matches. And then because it blends in so well with the paper that is punched in by the scallop, because it is the same paper, I just punched a tag, or it's not a tag, a ticket, and a little scallop circle out of that dark gray, and I am just layering that behind the little camera so that it definitely pops and you can see it. So that is pretty much going to end what I do on this layout. There's not a whole lot more to it. I am going to add a little bit of journaling to the lower right hand corner underneath that small square photo, and then a little bit underneath the um, left hand photos, and I'm just going to write directly on the page, so you will see that in the close-ups, that there is some journaling there. And I'm just talking about how when all of the work is done from the day and the light, the sun goes down, we don't have power at our cabin unless we run a generator. So oftentimes we will just use, we do have some small solar uh, panel things that run the lights and stuff, but you can't run like any power tools or air conditioning or anything like that off of it. So we just turn that on and we play games for the evening. So there's the final layout. I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and I really encourage you to go check out all of the other people playing along. If you have questions or comments, you can leave those in the description or in the comments down below. I will get back to you as quickly as I can. I apologize for the glare on the photos. It's really difficult to take a double page photo, so I apologize for that. But there's those layers, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching and spending time with me today. I will see you guys again soon. Bye-bye now.